Vajrapani will always be a complicated figure in art for Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism. One of the more complex areas is when you're dealing with the wrathful forms. Now, generally speaking, Vajrapani in wrathful form has one face, two arms, dark blue in color, surrounded by flames, holding upraised in the right hand a vajra scepter, and in the left hand, usually performing a wrathful gesture with the index finger raised. Sometimes there can be a lasso wrapped around the figure and flying outward. Now, the problem is there are many different wrathful forms of deities, one face, two arm, blue, that are similar in appearance. Now, one of the main ones that leads to confusion is Vajravidarana. Vajravidarana comes out of its own sets of tantras, and we have different levels of tantra literature for Vajravidarana. He can be both a peaceful and a wrathful deity. Now, the main difference, the most important difference with the wrathful figure is Vajravidarana holds a Vishvavajra, a double Vajra scepter in the upraised right hand, rather than the single five-pronged Vajra scepter. And also the Vishvavajra, the double Vajra scepter, is often of different colors, representing the symbolic Buddhas, the Buddhas of the five families. So that's the first. The second is the popular topic of Padmasambhava in his eight forms. And one of his eight forms is Sengge Dradog. Sengge Dradog has the identical appearance to Vajrapani in his wrathful form. So you immediately have to look at the context to distinguish between whether or not a painting is trying to depict a wrathful form of Vajrapani or the wrathful form of Padmasambhava. Now, another one of note is the Kartaridhara Mahakala. Kartaridhara is identical in appearance, except in the upraised right hand he holds a curved knife, a Kartri knife. And this is really, calling it a curved knife is actually being descriptive, because that's not a proper translation. But to be even more descriptive, it's like a flaying knife. It's skinning. It's a skinning knife, and it has a slight hook on the end, and that's for cutting up any meat, and then hooking the meat with the knife to move it or place it someplace else. Now, the Kartaridhara Mahakala is not as commonly found in art. It's a bit more of a rare. It's usually a secondary figure in Sakya, Jonang, Gelug paintings, and then it's really Kadampa. It's said to have come from Atisha, and we find it more in Gelug paintings, which are actually promoting the Kadampa deities primarily. Now, another deity that's commonly confused for Vajrapani is Yama Dharmaraja in his inner form. Yama Dharmaraja is a protector deity. He is specific for the Vajrabhairava cycle of tantras, but later adopted as one of the three main protectors of the Gelug tradition. But Yama Dharmaraja has the identical appearance of Vajrapani, except the attributes in the hands. In the upraised right hand, he holds again a Kartaridhara, or a Kartari knife. Dara here meaning holding, but he's holding the Kartri knife. And in the left hand, he's holding a skull bowl. So that this is a little bit different, although some forms of Vajrapani, we can find a skull bowl as well. So this can lead to confusion. In all of these cases, you have to look to the surrounding context of the painting to understand what the intent is, the intent of the artist, the intent of the iconographic program. Then you can identify the figure as properly being a Vajrapani or one of these other wrathful blue figures.